Season 5 with the Toronto Blue Jays begins in this episode. It begins right about now. There's not a whole hell of a lot we have to do aside from setting up the scouting. Of course, the last episode, the plans weren't initially for it to be so trade heavy. Just kind of turned out that way as we finally took a step back in some regards. Obviously, the starting rotation still looking pretty damn good. And in fairness, the team itself is still looking pretty good, but in terms of saying we can compete with Boston and New York on paper for the division title, probably not. But if you were to tell me, hey, you might be the wild card team, I wouldn't be shocked necessarily. It mainly will depend on the progression that we end up seeing from certain players moving forward. Now, I know, of course, this isn't some people's favorite part, but of course, we do have to worry about the scouting, and Hernandez is only really going to have to worry about position players. We're not going to bother trying to find pitchers for him, so this could end up being a little bit tedious as well in that aspect. International, he's not great with pitchers, but Olivo will also take a look. So we'll have somebody else, probably Biden, search for the pitchers from the East once he is done searching out for everybody. With that said, let's get the show on the road. We begin this season at Soroka against Fulmer. We start the season off against the Yankees with a 2-1 win, actually. So I'm a little bit surprised. We lose the next game 0-1. And of course, I am going to have to change scouting. Like I said, I know this isn't some people's favorite aspect of it, but from what I've seen, it is the best way to handle scouting as far as being able to not only search out, and find those prospects that are still there, but to also leave me with enough time to go ahead and, actually scout out the guys that we've ended up finding. Infield, let's go fielding and speed, and of course pitching will go over to movement. Now, yes, it's not lost on me that we ended up winning the opening series against the Yankees 3-1. Kind of surprising. It is early. We end up losing to Tampa, so it all kind of balances itself out. Let's go arm strength. I'm not really concerned about. Let's go power and contact for the infield. That's fine by me. And then pitching-wise, we're off to velocity. So, tad bit tedious, but what are you going to do? We actually end up having another 3 games against the Yankees here, and we start off with a 9-3 win. 5-2 to begin this season. Very interesting. I certainly wouldn't have expected this. I'm very tempted to search out arm strength among the infield. I'm going to go arm strength and fielding there. And then pitching-wise, we got to go to lefty clutch just to handle that. I do wonder, though, is the AAA lineup set? The pitching rotation's good. Okay, the AAA lineup set. It has Ryan Dahl in. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anybody sitting that I wouldn't want actually out of the lineup. And there is one instance of that with Mickey Moniak. So Cordova's in, rightfully so. He's a great addition to that team, but I need to make sure that Moniak's in. He's actually a hopeful for us, whereas Cordova's a D potential, but obviously a monster. He could be on the bench at the major league level if needed. Uribe, it'd be nice for him to be in the lineup, and Ferris definitely needs to be in the lineup. So Quentin Holmes is in. He's a C potential. Of course, Uribe is a little bit further along. Ramirez is a C potential, and Blackburn. So Ramirez is going to have to take a seat for Uribe, and Camacho actually should be in. Mesa's a C potential. Okay, so Mesa will be out for Ferris. So we'll handle it that way. Ramirez and Greenwood? Yeah, it was Greenwood that we took out. So let's do that. Ramirez. And Greenwood's actually not in at this point in time. Pedro Santos is not as important as Alan Ferris. Let's go Ramirez, Uribe. It's actually Ben Mesa that was in, I think. Garcia, Camacho. Yep. All right, with that, we only have this one extra change to make. Take out Santos for Ferris, and yeah, we're good. At least we should be, in theory. I can actually take that off of auto now for the moment, just because I don't want those players back out of the lineup. Scouting-wise, of course, we're good to go. Just didn't want to screw that up any further. 6-2 to begin this season. Not bad. Let's go arm strength and fielding there. lefty command, and lefty command. It's definitely the second half, the back half of the season after the draft, where we can really start to focus on all-out simming, really. But like I said, we got to make sure that we find the best available, especially now. We've done relatively well with the draft. We'll take a step back, mainly heading into next year's draft based on the standings. So I'm intrigued to see how that goes and how this draft goes for us. The good thing is we're almost done with pitchers here. And then outfield-wise, we'll go power and contact. And then we're pretty much done with Prince. He'll be able to start actually scouting players that we already have available. A 9-4 record to begin this season, though. Who the hell saw that coming? So for pitchers, we're good. We'll move you over to catchers, arm strength, and fielding. Biden will go ahead and take care of prospects in the central to start. Arm strength and fielding. Arm strength and fielding. And actually, we'll go over to Prince. And let's see. I mean, you're better with position players. Take a look at the outfield first. An old Clark Trailer. The 18-year-old could end up being half decent for us. As we do lose that season series to Atlanta, but still, 10-5. Not a bad start at all things considered. And we're having trouble finding players for this guy to scout. Arm strength and fielding's good. Let's go power contacts. We already have all the catchers discovered. Interesting. In the infield, let's go arm strength and fielding to start. Here we'll go power contact. Power contact. Beautiful. And trailer has dropped down to a 65. That's unfortunate. Let's go Luis Rodriguez next. 20 years old. He's ready, I believe that's next year. So it's not looking too bad. As Santos actually goes down for a week or two. We have a 3-game series against Houston. Let's go ahead and auto-fix that lineup. We split the first 2 games. How are we looking right now? We're still 25th ranked. Which is surprising. I don't know. I feel like the way that's set up, it's almost not even fair. I feel like we actually have a better team than that, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overhyping my own team, but I feel like we have a better squad than that. I don't know. I mean, then again, clearly, rating's not everything because we are off to a very strong start this season. We'll take a look at Mike Hopper, maybe. I think we'll scout... I don't know. That's a tough one. He's 2 years away. It's actually mistaken. He's 2 years away at 22. We'll avoid that. I am going to look to scout anybody who's listed as a 70 potential, and then we'll look to move on from there. So we'll take a look at Winston, and all of that is good, I do believe. Let's go another 2 days. We end up winning the series against Houston. We got another 3 games coming up against the White Sox. I say another 3 games as if we've played them so far. We haven't. Winston will get that full scouting report. Then here, let's go power contact in the infield, which I feel like I already did, but we can keep looking. That was for catchers, I think. I don't know. I'm losing my mind here. Let's go speed and contact. Speed and contact. Just to sort all of this out. We split the first 2 games against the White Sox. And from here, let's see. Who else can Prince take a look at? At center, Rick Winnica. Ricky Winnica. Why the hell not? We'll take a look at him. Infield-wise, we're good. Let's go outfield. I feel like I screwed up the scouting with this dude here, but at the very least, it basically gets everyone right back to where they were, so I'm not too concerned. Our closer, he's roughed up a little bit. That's all right. We have a day off coming up, so yeah, he's good to go. We end up taking that series against Chicago as well, so not a bad start to the opening month of this season, and Winnica's worth getting a full look at. Let's go ahead and go speed and contact in the outfield. All right, we've discovered all outfielders there. We could have him be the one to take a look. I'll still have that be Biden, so you can start looking at players as well. Let's take a look at Brady McNair. And then from here, infield, power contact skill, we'll go outfield, arm strength, and fielding. Outfield, arm strength, and fielding. Fingers crossed we have ourselves a good draft. 3 games against Boston, we win the first 2. We're doing so much better than the big 2 teams of this division that you would, or at least that I would expect us to do. So much better. We'll take a look at Moffitt. We'll take a look at Cordero. And then Biden will take a look at speed and contact. You will take a look at speed and contact. Next 2 games, we sweep Boston. They're 13-14. We start our series with the Yankees. They're 14-12. This could be a good year for us. Imagine now that we take a step back and we still end up doing this well. Say we make the playoffs. I sat here and said, maybe the wild card. We might be looking at something better, to be honest. There's that outside chance. I want that full report on Cordero. We'll go the next 2 days as we take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. I was going to say 3 out of 4. It was the series against the Red Sox that ran in to that series. Cordero is a monster, as advertised. And let's see here. Anybody else? We'll take a look at Guerrero. And that's it at center. In left, and of course, we'll have to go back through this because we're still trying to find players right now. Let's take a look at Viasmil. Viasmil. Why not? So with the outfield, we are good to go. You get to start scouting out position players in the East, though. So have fun with that. We get to go arm strength and fielding there. And you get to start looking at prospects. Take a look at Jeffrey Hurd, if you would. So Biden is the last guy actually trying to discover at the moment. Not a good run of form for us at the moment. We've lost 3 straight. We've already lost this series. We've already discovered all catchers, which is, or not all catchers, but just ones with those tags. Let's go power contact there and see who else we have. We'll go over to the left yet again. Dallas Donahue. That is a phenomenal name. We'll take a look at Ellis Haynes. And Alonzo Ibar, you're a little bit too old. Could get the full report on Vasimil, though, so we'll do that. Let's go another 2 days. We at least take 1 game against Kansas City, 20-10 on the season thus far. I'd like to get the majority of the scouting done before we take a look. Let's go arm strength and fielding there. I'd like to get the majority of the scouting done before we start to take a look at stats on the season. Carmine Zapata's still a monster. Ellis Haynes, let's get a full report on you. Let's see, as far as the 70, there's quite a few. Frank Flanagan, we might as well take a look at. And Dion Melendez, quite a few outfielders coming up in this draft. Montana's down in AAA. Ends up being out for a week or 2. Kind of a tough loss for them. 12-4. Diego Liriano, what happened? You can't be lights out every day. I get it. That is a horrific performance, though. That is awful. Let's keep taking a look at left fielders here. So we have the full report on Haynes. He might be okay. Hurd actually dropped back another year to 2024. So I'll still try to get the full report on him. And let's see, who else do we have? Grant. You know what, I'll get the full look at Grant, and we'll get the full look at Christopher Doughty. As we wrap up our series against Baltimore, Jacob Gonzalez in AAA goes down. We actually get swept by the O's. Not great, but they are a half-decent team at 22-13. They've played 2 more games than we have this season. Let's go back over to left. What else do we have here? Let's get the full report on Doughty. Is there anybody else? Let's get the full report on Melendez. And that will do it for left fielders for the moment. Nobody else below a 70 that's worth taking a look at. At shortstop, Martin Bennett. Let's see what you have for us. And for Biden, we'll go power contact on infielders. We are 22 days out from the draft. I definitely botched the scouting in a way. I definitely botched the scouting and ended up having someone out there for a little bit longer than I was supposed to. Hopefully, this could be a rough draft for us. This could be a rough draft for us because of that mistake. I felt like in the moment that I had made that mistake, and it's very evident that I have. So we'll take a look here. For the most part, though, we'll still be able to scout out pretty much everybody that we want to. And it would probably be worth having Biden stop scouting or stop discovering at this point, but I feel like we'll be okay. Hopefully, as we get a couple of players back from injury, and we start off our 3-game series with the Red Sox with a victory. Let's see, Biden, I'm still going to risk it. Let's go speed and contact. Might not be the best draft for us in terms of pitching. I'm not sure who we'll end up finding. Darren Reyna's there. Oh, boy, let's see. We got a lot of 70s here. Okay, you're not worth it. Philip Abreu, or Irabu, I should say. Garcia, not worth it at this point. Tavares, not worth it. Mike Murphy is, though. We'll go power and contact. He'll be done scouting. Only 18 days out from the draft. I really botched that. Kind of surprised. I had a feeling when I set him back out to scout that I was making a mistake. The joys, of course, of having different people at different stages of scouting when I try to keep it universal. What are you going to do, though? In terms of shortstops, Cookston, he's 21. He's 4+ years away. I'm going to say no. Reyna's 18. He's 4+ years away, but the potential's staying there. Algier? Aliger? Don't know. Algier. Don't know where the fuck I got that one from. Not that good, though. Bennett, worth getting a full report on. We can finally use you to scout. 21, 4+ years away. I think we're good. We're good there. Who do we have at third? Rodriguez, 3 years away at 21. We'll take a look. Cordero as well. We'll scout him out. Might not be the best draft for us pitching-wise. It's not as if we need the help there, though. I think we'll be okay if we go without taking a look at a ton of pitching prospects. I'm actually going to start in at catcher here, and we'll go now in reverse order. So Garcia, 21, 4+ years away. I'm going to say no to that. We'll definitely take a look at Robertson. Tejada, 22, 4 years away. Vasquez is worth taking a look at. Is that it? I'm going to have to focus on just the 80s right now, I think, to start. Just to make sure we get through everything. And man, this is a hell of a draft for first baseman, apparently. Damn. Trent Krause is worth looking at, as is Eric Watt. Let's see. 2 weeks out. Didn't mean to hit play game, but we are 2 weeks out. So we wrap up our series of Minnesota. We get the series win, 12-3 victory. Soroka up to 4-2 on the year. We start off a 4-game series against Oakland with a loss, however. So not ideal there. And again, in terms of the 80s, no one really there worth looking at. Of course, someone like Vasquez could jump up, but I want to sort through every remaining 80. Watt will get a full report on. Bruntlett will avoid. At third, 3 years away at 23, absolutely not. At shortstop, nobody there. Okay. No, we're doing okay. It's definitely going to be a position player draft, though. Not going to worry about pitching whatsoever in this draft. There will be the outside chance, as we ended up finding McGinnis, there will be the outside chance of me just maybe randomly selecting a pitcher, but let's definitely focus on the position players for this draft. So we'll take a look at Vasquez again. And McClugan, you're 23. 2 years away at 23. Actually, 1 year away at 23, excuse me. Because, yeah, it would be 24, 25. Okay, so 1 year away at 23. I'll take a look at you. You never know. He could be very close to being Major League ready. As Yadi Alvarez slightly banged up. We're okay, though. Oakland has the advantage in this series. Let's go back to catchers. McClugan could be the real deal. He could be the real deal. I want to reassign that scout there, though. Let's see, 23. Again, right now I'm going to prioritize the 75s. 22, 3 years away. 21, Morales we can take a look at. Anybody else? Krause, let's get a full report on. And Jackie Penn, not going to happen. I am going to look at Bobby Norris, though. I'm going to look at Bobby Norris. We'll see what he has. 10 days out from the draft. Martin Santana. Our key outfielder out for 2 to 3 months with a fractured leg. That is devastating. We do end up tying that series with Oakland. But that is a frustrating loss to lose Santana in that way. Let's go ahead. And we'll probably end up calling up either Brian, Moniak. Because I'm trying to think of who's been sitting. I think it's been Tavares that's been sitting. Actually, I can look. Without a DH. Whoops. There we go. Without a DH, it's been Armenteros that's been sitting. So I think we'll probably want him to play a little bit more. So for that reason, we could just call up Darryl Bryan. And we probably will, because Dahl really hasn't improved. Or we can call up Terrell Cordova, who is killing it at the AAA level and is one hell of a bench player. One hell of a bench player, but I don't want to risk him taking anybody's spot. So I think we'll just play it safe. And we'll call up Darryl Bryan, and then from AA, we have... we can call up Uribe. Bump him up to triple. And then going up to AA will be the 64 overall Daryl McKinney, who I thought I would have cut. Apparently not, though. We'll go to auto for the moment. Hopefully that sets up the lineup in a little bit better way. And scouting-wise, let me take a look again, just because I'm not sure at this point. Okay, so we got the full report on McClugan. It's hit or miss. Again, we're going to look at the 75s and up, just to see what we have. Not looking too good at first, with the exception of Morales. Morales could end up being a little bit of a steal. I really want to scout Dino Valentine. Hell of a name. Not going to be the guy, though. It's 75, again, 22. All right, so we're good there. Second base, 75s and up. Nobody else to take a look at is now that we have that full report on Eric Watt. At third, Peter McCarthy, definitely worth looking at. He's the only one. At shortstop, Algier, not worth it. Darren Reyna is the real deal as well. In left, nobody else. Carmine Zapata looking great. And in right, nobody else. So we can start either taking a look at pitchers or taking a look at 70s. Starting pitching, we're good. I'm going to try to look for some relief pitchers here at this stage. I think I'll probably start off with the closers. Probably. Tough to say. Yeah, I'm going to start off with closers, because you can have high-end relief pitchers that then say, oh, I want to be the closer. So it doesn't really matter. We can run closers as relief pitchers. That's not a big deal. So we'll look at Keith Burgess, and we'll look at Jaime Rodriguez. 9 days out from the draft. We're starting another 3-game series against the Yankees, and we lose another player to a fractured leg, Andreas Arias, for 1 to 2 months. The injury bug is biting hard right now. Now, we do have Chisholm there. And as far as who we could bump up, let's say Chisholm or maybe even Art Matheny were to draw into the lineup. It's going to be an infield option. Is Matheny the one that can play first? It's Cassidy. We're going to need an infield option. And in fairness, a backup catcher is needed? Did I not? No, Dalton Varshow's still there. Where the fuck's Varshow? Oh, it's playing Varshow in left. So when there's a DH, it's playing Varshow in left. Okay, well, at least he gets some playing time. So regardless, we definitely need to call up an infielder. It could be Delabate. Might be too early for him. Could be Julio, just for the hell of it. Andy Wales. Yeah, you know, let's call up Alex Julio. We'll add him to the 40. Bump him up. I do need to add one player to the AAA roster and one player to the AA roster. Ideally, I'm actually not sure who needs to be called up. So we'll leave that as is for the moment, with them being at 24 apiece. And scouting-wise, let's take a quick look again. One last time, looking at the 70s. I want that full report on Robinson. I want that full report on Billy Jackson. I don't know how the hell I missed that guy. Unless I did. Yeah, I guess I really wasn't looking at the 70s. Rene Espinosa we'll take a look at as well. And let's see, quite a few 70s. Felipe Quintana we'll also take a look at. Let's sim the next 2 games against the Yankees. We get a trade offer from Chicago. Definitely not interested in that. I'm good. And we end up taking another series against the Yankees. We had almost identical records, if not exactly identical records. I didn't get a great look at it. But it was looking pretty good. Espinosa, let's get a full report. And from there, we're good. Billy Jackson ended up being not necessarily worth the time investment from that point. At first, we have Bruno Trujillo that we'll end up taking a look at if the game wants to work. Thank you. Quintana, we'll get that full report. 22, 3 years away, we'll avoid. At second, I guess we had the option to go 70s or starting pitching, and I don't know. I think it's because I'm seeing some of our position players drop like flies. I'm kind of panicking about the idea of scouting any closers. I think I am going to stick with the idea of scouting infielders here. Bobby Norris. Let's get the full report. As we start another series with the Red Sox, we take the first two. We're getting very, very close. Very, very close to the draft now. Obviously, wish we had just a tad bit more time, but we're doing what we can. At second, we'll take a look at Justin Dove. Norris ended up not really being worth it. We're good there. At third, we'll take a look at Jose Manuel. 21, oh, that's good. At shortstop, quite a few shortstop options. Or any others worth taking a look at? Garcia, we're not going to scout any further. 22, 18, 21, we're good there. And left, to be fair, we might get back to scouting out pitchers. So what it's looking like, actually. I want the full report on Guerrero. And aside from that, any right fielders that are worth it? Hopper, 2 years away at 22, could be worth it. McGinnis as well. Just really Hopper and McGinnis. So let's take a look at Mike Hopper. We'll have a little bit of time-ish. As Joel Pena out for 6 months with the head fracture. Jesus. People are falling like flies right now at all levels. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how bad the injury bug has struck. And we'll be able to do a little bit of extra scouting here towards closers before we have to pack it up. And actually, let's take a look at the 19-year-old who's going to be ready very soon. There's a couple of them, but we're going to go for Josh Downing. And that will pretty much be it. Martin Santana's still out for a month or two. We have that final day. We'll still take a look at Downing. So there might be a couple of things. I might just hand over full lineup control to the AI, but I'm afraid of who they might call up or send down at the major league level. I feel like in a way it might screw me over in some aspects, but it would be helpful for double and triple A. As far as who's called up, who's sent down, and lineup management, it would be quite helpful. You know what? Let's do it. Let's give the AI full control. We'll sim this first game against Seattle. Urena goes down. I'm not going to even look or entertain that trade offer because we have a draft to do. Let's jump into it. Not going to hold off and wait until the next episode. So we don't have an extra pick there. We do have an extra pick between 2 and 3. And that is it. So only one extra pick, but we'll try to make the most of it. Let's see who is on the board for us in terms of accuracy. So a Viasmil is very average. Ellis Haynes is very average. Decent speed, that's about it. Darren Reyna, good contact, fielding's a bit low, high injury risk. We're staying away. John Robertson, nothing special. Carlos Vasquez, nothing special either. Well-rounded, just kind of average. Roberto Guerrero, good contact, average the rest of the way around. Ricky Winston, good fielding, decent bat. He's not bad. No secondary positions, but he is pretty well-rounded. I know what the potential is, but I care more about the individual stats. That's not bad. Ricky Winston's the first guy I'd really point out as being worth it. Cordero, good speed and stealing. That's about the only thing he excels in. Wineka is also relatively well-rounded, but nothing too crazy. Wouldn't have guessed that he was Dutch. Rene Espinoza. Hello, Rene Espinoza. That contact with that discipline, decent fielding as well, can play multiple positions. Rene Espinoza is my favorite right now. Dion Melendez. Ooh. I gotta go for Melendez, man, because he's ready next year. Espinoza, I like you, but Dion Melendez, holy hell. Christopher Doughty as well. Really good contact and discipline. Wow. There's some good options. The 5'7" left fielder against the 6'5" outfielder. Damn. The power edge goes to Melendez, but Espinoza, Melendez, and Doughty are all great, and Jeffrey Hurd is also tremendous. Holy shit. just that group of players. Bobby Norris, nothing too crazy, but not terrible. Rodriguez, there's no way I even care. Trailer, Algier, not looking that good. Jim McGraw, big Jim McGraw. Luis Rodriguez, that power is pretty nice, but not better than what we've seen from some of the other guys. Moffitt, nothing too crazy. Dallas Donahue, nothing too crazy. Nothing really there from Rodriguez. Pedro Garcia is very well-rounded. I like the fielding. I like the contact. If he's in the second or third round, that could be a great pickup for us. Santana as well, with that contact against righties. Rodney Grant, nothing too crazy. Mike Murray, nothing too crazy. Peter McCarthy, nothing too crazy. Billy Jackson, good power. Good power, discipline's a little bit low, though. Brady McNair, I think it comes down to that group, although Philip Arabu, good contact. High injury risk, though. That's going to keep me away from him. Bruno Trujillo, very well-rounded as well, especially for an 18-year-old. There's some good players in this first round, man. Jose Manuel, good power. Nothing else really sticks out. The fielding was good. Cordero, it comes down to that group of players, man. It has to. No one's matched it yet. Mike Hopper's really good, too. Good chance of getting some decent players, but it comes down to this group that begins with Hurd. So let's see. Hurd, very good contact. The power, meh. Vision and discipline's okay. Good fielding, though. Good speed as well. 21 years old, ready next year. I look at Christopher Doughty, that contact, that vision and discipline, low risk, he's 19. Melendez has the contact and the power. Espinoza has really good contact as well. I'm going to go for Dion Melendez. The fact that he's ready next year is huge. At 21, he's already got a major league at bat. There's a really good chance of this being like a great hitter, but deep potential. I'm still going to risk it, though. I'm going to go for Dion Melendez, the outfielder, and we'll see if anyone else ends up still being available here. Obviously, quite a few of the names just went off the board, but we'll take a look. Hurd and Doughty are both still there. Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. So Hurd and Doughty right now are two of the favorites. It's going to be one of these two. And we could take Jeffrey Hurd as a more ready option, or we could take the long-term option in Doughty. Let me see here. So the contact game, slight edge to Doughty. Hurd has the advantage in power. Vision, discipline, the fielding there. I'm going to take Hurd. And hopefully Doughty's still available later, but Jeffrey Hurd's the next guy up. And Doughty, I think, is still there. I didn't plan on taking three outfielders, but Doughty's still there. That is tremendous. I'm going to pretty much get the three guys that I wanted. It's that contact from Doughty, the vision, the discipline. I'm going to double check here. Juan Morales was okay. Guerrero, Reyna, nothing special. Bobby Norris, Donahue. I'm trying to remember some of the other names that we mentioned. Hopper was pretty good. And again, I have a hard time believing I'm going to do terribly here in this draft because there are some really good options. Arabu had the contact, but the high injury. Bruno Trujillo, very well-rounded as well. I'd say that it might come down to Trujillo, who I might take just for the fact that he's a first baseman and we can mix it up a little bit. Comes down to Trujillo or Doughty. Let me take a look here again one more time at Bruno Trujillo. I'm going to go for Doughty. But then again, Doughty's 19, ready in 4 years. Trujillo is 18. I'm going to go for Bruno Trujillo, the first baseman. And we'll see if Doughty is still available. So far, he is no longer. He goes to Milwaukee. I was going to say, so far, so good. He's no longer available. He goes to Milwaukee. I feel like we made the right choice, though, instead of taking three outfielders to begin the draft. And we do still have some green scouted players. A couple of yellows here as well. So that's the three relief pitchers. Let's see who else we have. Quite a few shortstops here. Dallas Donahue, just okay. Doesn't really excel at anything. McGraw doesn't really excel at anything. Good speed, that's about it. Dove, nothing special. Grant, nothing special. Flanagan, well-rounded. High injury risk, though. Brady McNair. I like the contact, vision, and discipline combined with the speed and arm strength. Arabu for the contact, but again, high injury risk. I don't think we want a potential shortstop being a DH. Garcia, it really depends on how low that durability rating is for Arabu. I really like Garcia. I really like Santana. And then there was Hopper. It's a good contact for Hopper. Garcia jumps out because of the contact, the fielding, the arm strength, the speed, and stealing. He's 22 and 3 years away, though. Hopper's 22 and 4 years away. Santana... I mean, so it's like, really, we got Murray as an option. High injury risk, though. Garcia, Arabu, McNair, Flanagan, Dove, McGraw, and Donahue. Can't really say I'm overly set on any of them. Pinero, though. Looking all right. Wish some of these guys weren't 4+ years away. Mike Murray, again, high injury risk. That really sucks. Garcia's 3 years away. Arabu's 4+ away. Like, I mean, Flanagan, what was redeeming about you? The speed, high injury risk again, though. Justin Dove, well-rounded, but probably nothing special. It comes down to Donahue, McGraw, or Dove. And I'd probably, despite the speed, probably just take Dove to have an infield option. I think that's what I'm going to do. Not overly sold on some of these picks now, especially at this stage of the draft. Hopefully one of those relievers are still available, one of those closers. That is indeed the case. We're going to take Pinero, who I was leaning towards anyway. I don't know. I went from relatively confident to now a little bit concerned about how we might be doing here. Flanagan's still there, and outside of that, we'd just be taking a random guess. So I'm going to take Flanagan. High injury risk, but good speed. Better than Arabu, who has the good bat now, but that's just deep potential. Well, it could be a good pinch hitting option. I'm going to go for Arabu. Don't have much faith in that pick. Could have just taken a random shot in the dark, which never really work out too well for me. We're going to have to do that here now, though. So let's see. In terms of ETA, everyone's the same. So let's take a look. Brett Reed, the 6'5" Canadian, can play first base and shortstop. Screw it. Perfect. Brett Reed will be our final pick in this draft, and we will see how we did. I went from relatively confident to quite concerned, really. Let's see. Not ideal. Not ideal. Now, there's a chance of it being a weak draft, but not an ideal draft at all. Dion Melendez is okay for a C potential. I mean, he's bench ready at the major league level right now, so that's good. He's worth signing. Like I said, he's going straight to the bench as a depth outfielder. Same for Jeffrey Hurd. He's close. He's like 1 year in AAA, and then, can get the call up if needed. Unfortunately, Bruno Trujillo, not even C potential. Worth signing as a AAA option just to make them better. Justin Dove, not worth signing at all. Pinero, worth signing, but C potential, kind of rough. Arabu, again, a good contact. Worth signing to kind of bolster up the AAA team, that's about it. And Brett Reed, not worth signing at all. That is one of my worst drafts ever. That is actually my worst draft ever. Not a single B potential guy or higher. Although it's a similar story here for the White Sox. They only have one. They do have one A potential. No Bs, though. Quite a few C potential guys. Again, I'm intrigued to see if this is just a weaker draft. A couple of good guys potential-wise here, but like for someone like Klein, 53 overall, he's not really worth it. I'm more intrigued right now at looking at some of the players that we didn't end up getting and just seeing what some of the general potentials are. So like Kansas City here, they drafted a 55 potential guy. So I feel like while it's still a bad draft, I don't think it's a miserable situation. Oh yeah, it definitely wasn't a good draft. It wasn't a great draft for the team personally. That's fairly obvious. But in terms of the talent available, this is already one of the weaker drafts I've ever seen. And we haven't even scrolled through half the teams yet. Just the crazy amount of 60s. Although Steven Portillo at that point in time for Oakland, that is one hell of a steal. But then you'll have like Paul Ortiz, who's a 93, but look at his overall, look at his age. So overall, potential isn't everything. It's not everything. Carmine Zapata looking pretty good though, obviously, as is Andres Cordero. So again, these potential numbers don't tell the entire story. That's why I'm more intrigued to look at the players like a Rick Wineka, who really would have been okay, but wouldn't have been great. He would have been better than some of the guys that we ended up with. But definitely we can't get a look at the full thing, the full story of what this draft was unless I were to sit here and look at every single player and say, good pick, bad pick, good pick, bad pick. This is why. His overall's too low for his age group. We've done it before. So I do just want to, like I said, scroll through. Jim McGraw wouldn't have helped out much. Bernard McGinnis ended up being okay for a C potential guy. Eric Watt, pretty good as well. Call it a hunch. I don't think we're going to be able to say that we missed out on anybody that was crazy good, although Darren Reyna was up there. I know he was an 80, 18 years old, a 46. He's got time to develop out of it, but he has a long way to go. He's 30 points away from being usable. Doughty, pretty good. David Stone. We did all right, all things considered. You know what? Let's leave it up to fate or chance as far as whether or not we missed out on anybody. For now, let's get to the All-Star break. I think we can do so in this episode today. Jorena is back. Arias is still out for 3 to 4 weeks. We take that series against Texas, and we also swept Seattle in a 4-game series. 2 quick games against the Mets. We split that. Pena's still out for 6 months. That's brutal. We're 38-22 on the season. 4 games here against a struggling Texas team. We take the first one and then lose 3 straight. Not ideal. Let me see what the team's looking like right now. So no changes there, I don't believe. I'll take a look at the stats once we get to the All-Star break. That's a better stopping point. We got 3 games against Baltimore. We take the series, not bad. 4 games against Tampa. They're struggling this season as well. We take 3 out of 4 there. Nice to see that. And LA, they've played 2 more games than we have. This is going to be a tough series. Just don't get swept. It's my only hope. We will not. Johnny Bromberg goes down to injury. This is unreal. The amount of injuries. And we actually take 2 out of 3 against the Angels. Not bad. 3 more games against Tampa. We're closing in on the All-Star break. And Julio out for a month or 2. Jesus. We lose 2 out of 3 to Tampa after taking 3 out of 4 previously. We have another quick 2-game series against the Mets. We split that one as well. And that brings us to a 4-game series against LA. Arias is back. We lose the first game to the Angels. What about the next 3? We win game 2, win game 3, and we split the series. Not bad. So we have just 2 weeks to go until the All-Star break. We're at 50-33. 3 games against the Nationals. Delabate goes down to injury. This is unbelievable. We lose that series, unfortunately. 3 games against Philly. They're a 500 club right now. Nats are offering a trade. Nino Camacho for Sanchez. No, he's 31. Get out of here. Next 2 games against Philly. We sweep them. That's a good set of wins for us. We have 3 games against Kansas City and 4 games against the White Sox before the break. Zach Cassidy goes down to injury. AAA All-Star game. I'm kind of intrigued at who made it, but not really. As we take that series against Kansas City, 56 wins on the year. 4 games against a struggling White Sox team. We take the first 2. We lose game 3. Lou Hurley goes down for 1 to 2 months in AAA. And we take the series 3 out of 4 games. Home Run Derby, we don't have a participant, so we'll avoid at the All-Star break. Shockingly, your Toronto Blue Jays 59-37 on the season. We might not have had the best draft, but man, we're looking good. We're 3 games back of the Yankees. We're the 24th rated team. We're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. Right now, we have a 4.5 game cushion on the wild card. So, still a chance that we miss out, but we're definitely performing at a higher level than I would have thought. Rotation-wise, Soroka's 9-5 with a 2.98 ERA. That is tremendous. The Canadian, he's from Calgary, as I discovered. Not too shabby at all. Diego Liriano, however, yikes. Yikes. Now here's the thing. He's still one of our younger pitchers, but that is very concerning. That is absolutely horrific. 5.32, 5-7 record. Yadi Alvarez has been pretty damn good, though. He's been great. 10-4 record, 2.65 ERA. Eflin's been okay, 5-5, a 3.28. And Murillo has been tremendous since getting a chance in the starting rotation. He's got a 10-1 record with a 2.98 ERA. God damn. So the big disappointment here is Liriano. Lester Martin's 3-3 with a 3.59 ERA. In the bullpen, Howell, a 1.29 whip is the main stat I'm looking at. Not too bad. Cortez, a 1.8, which is... Oh, boy. Again, whip for anybody that somehow doesn't know at this point in time. If you've gotten this far into a series, I'd like to think you know about walks and hits per 9. Yeah, not great. But you'll look at his 2 lowest ratings, walks and hits. So, shocker. Alfonso hasn't been great either. Hicks hasn't been great. German hasn't been great. Victor Arano is our closer at the moment. He has not. He's actually been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal. So the bullpen, still a weakness. The rotation, for the most part, has been okay. You got to factor in that we're also dealing with so many injuries. Down in AAA, Vasquez is doing phenomenal. Villalobos has been okay. Rivas has been okay. Montanez has unfortunately been struggling, as has Hunter Green. So quite a few guys not doing all that well for us. Castro's doing okay, and James Hu is also doing all right. I wanted to look at our higher overall guys. Lineup-wise, Bo Bichette, 10 home runs, 36 RBIs, and a 2.78 average. So home run-wise, he might hit his total. RBI-wise, it's been a little bit disappointing. A 3.63 on-base percentage, though, so far. That maintains it'll be the highest of his career. So pretty good. Urena, 8 home runs, 42 RBIs, and a 3.02 average. Phenomenal. Junior, 18, 64, and a 3.06. Phenomenal. Darryl Bryan, he's been in the lineup out of necessity. 7 home runs, 16 RBIs, and a 2.82. Not bad at all for the C potential. Alabamian, I think is what you'd call them. Miea, 7.45 and a 2.58. Not bad for him, all things considered. Art Matheny, for a random depth option, goddamn. Art Matheny. 4 home runs, 23 RBIs, and a 3.65 average. What's your on base? 4.08. That's unbelievable. Art Matheny, ladies and gentlemen. And not to be outdone, Leotis Taveras, not doing bad either. 17, 50, and a 2.86. Victor Robles, 12.41 and a 2.58. And Mickey Moniak, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and a 2.70 average. We're doing so incredibly well. Everyone's pulling their weight. Arias' average is a little bit lower than I'd hoped for. Pulisic only 13 at-bats, but he's doing well. Varsho struggling at the plate. And Chisholm has been okay. So, for the most part, everyone's doing well. And then down in AAA, Cordova's been tearing it up. Ryan Dahl's having a phenomenal rookie season. I'm glad we have him in the system. We drafted him last year. Let's see. Gonzalez, Delabate's doing okay. Armenteros ended up getting sent down, so I knew somebody got sent down. It was Armenteros, but he's doing pretty well. Garcia's down there as well. Galvis, Uribe on the bench. Not a whole hell of a lot we can do for some of these guys in terms of them being on the bench, but we're doing what we can. And yes, I know Junior was a 97. Overall, we're doing phenomenally well. And again, much better than I think anybody would have expected. We have the 3rd best record in the majors behind the Yankees and the Colorado Rockies. Don't think anybody saw that coming. So, we're also the best team in terms of stolen bases. So there is that. Batting average-wise, again, Junior, the fact he's over a 300, Urena as well. Tremendous. I'm running out of ways to describe how well we are doing. I don't think anybody saw this coming for our ranks. Again, contact and speed are our specialties. Everything else, obviously the pitching, it's got to be lower because the bullpen's a bit weak, but I'm really happy with where this team is. The fact that we're still competitive. You look at the fact that now we're allowing some of our guys to develop, whether in the minors or on the team right now in the majors. And of course, we're seeing certain guys really break through. Someone like an Art Matheny coming out of nowhere to do as well as he has. Darryl Bryan's doing great. It's only going to help that rebuild on the fly. It's not a full rebuild. It's a rebuild on the fly. We're getting better. at every level right now, and we're still not, absolutely terrible, which I expected us to be much worse. So we'll find out in the next episode whether or not we can sustain this and whether or not we will be a playoff team here in Season 5. We have made the postseason every single year in this run. Whether or not that continues this season, not entirely sure. But it's clear that if we continue to perform at this level, that there is a chance of that happening. So in the next episode, we will sim through the rest of this season. I don't really expect myself to make any trades. Don't really think it's necessary. Why buy at this point in time? Just let the team continue to develop, let the team continue to grow, and hopefully some of these underperforming players can end up kind of getting it together here as we move forward. So let me know what you think down in the comments below as far as any suggestions or what we could, or what we could do, what we could not do, what we should leave alone, basically. What we could do with the team moving into the next episode. You know the deal. I thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to the suggestions, to the feedback. Support the video, support the channel, support me, support my dog, punch the microphone. Perfect way to end the stream. Not a stream, it's a video. I'm going to bed because I clearly need it. Goodbye. Jesus. Not goodbye, Jesus, unless your name's Jesus, in which case, what's up, Jesus? Or perhaps Jesus. Just let me... I need a new shovel. I need a bigger shovel if I'm going to keep digging myself a hole here in this outro.